Hello everyone, you're welcome on Scoop on Scoop. My name is Esther Mhozi and I am your host like usual. As you can see, today we have a different setting. I mean, a little bit of a change is not that bad. You're going to tell us if you like it better or not. Anywho, I'm here today with three different people, individuals, young adults, beautiful, big brains, and I couldn't think of anyone better but you guys when I was thinking about the topics that we're going to be talking about today, which is culture shocks and the diversity that comes with different countries and all that goes along with it. So I'm going to have them introduce themselves. We're going to start from the gentleman in white. Hi there.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
My name is Marumbo Sichenga. I'm a spoken word artist currently residing here in the beautiful Kigali, Rwanda, and I'm originally from Malawi.
Did you hear the word beautiful? Did you just hear that?
The country.
Marumbo.
The landscape.
We'll see if just about the landscape. Hi.
Hi, Esther. And hi to all the viewers. My name is Dilla. I am an artist, multidisciplinary. I dabble in poetry, music, theater, and film. I am 22 years old and I live in Kigali, Rwanda. I was born and raised in Gaborone, Botswana, but my roots are in Zimbabwe.
She has two roots, by the way. So she's one tree with one root here and one.
The roots are widespread. I'm Pan-African.
It's beautiful to have you.
Thank you.
Girl, like, what is this? I'm loving
all of this is just calypso magic.
I mean, the artist word is another thing. Hi.
Hello.
Tell us about yourself.
My name is Lily. I'm a volunteer here in Kigali and I will be here for 1 year and I'm from Germany.
It's good to have you, Lily.
Thank you so much.
You guys, if I tell you Lily's age, you're going to run. Marumbo.
Tell me at the end.
You would be put in prison.
I don't need to know right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Marumbo.
Yes.
Tell us, how did you end up in the beautiful country?
Well, the PR game in Rwanda is very strong. If you Google Rwanda, a lot of what you see are the beautiful ladies, a lot about the development and the dreams and goals that Rwanda
When
has.
you said the beautiful ladies and looked at me, were you trying to say I'm one of them?
You have a boyfriend, I'd like to respect myself. and not
Did I say I have a boyfriend?
And not make comments that will land me in a fight.
You are very beautiful.
Thank you.
What she said. What she said to underscore. But yeah, so I initially came to study. So I've been in Rwanda for 3 years. I came to do my master's here. And then I stayed for work. But it's also been a very good place to build a career and try to launch out of. So yeah, very close to Nairobi, very close to Kampala, like East Africa. It's sort of like a central hub. And so that helps me to also make my arts and also try to push it in East Africa and across Africa. So several reasons why I stayed, but yeah, that's part of it.
That's beautiful. I've seen you perform in different stages and you are amazing. His game is...
Thank you very much.
Big time.
We'll
jump straight to the artist lady. Oh my God. Tell us, how did you end up here?
So my side hustle is school. I'm a student. So I was admitted to the African Leadership University. And that's how I came to Rwanda. This was back in 2021. And yeah, that's what brought me, and what's allowed me to stay is really just the home that I've made out of this place. As an artist, I really feel like I've been embraced. And this has really been a pivotal point in my career. So yeah, every time I go home now, I can't shut up about it, you know? Because I feel like I've grown a lot and I've met a lot of wonderful people. And then the landscape is also very beautiful. I'm a nature girl, so I love the forests and the water and all the things that just make me feel at peace, but then also very motivated by the rate of development. Young people here are really pushing it. People like yourself, people like everyone here really inspire me. And I think it's very important for young African youths to be in spaces like this where you're allowed to dream. And yeah, that's basically it.
It's pretty artistic. If you had, I love the nature, the landscape. If there's any guy out there thinking, it should be under the rock. Somewhere in the cave, you need to propose from under the rock.
Wow.
Has to be, if it's like a 14 karat rock, then yeah, maybe.
Wow. Besides some cliffs. Lily, I know that volunteers, when they're being, when they're having that year abroad, they usually have given a list of countries to choose from, but then you're here, so basically you choose Rwanda. Why is that?
I don't know, I've just looked at the countries on the list, and then I looked at nature because I'm also really in love with nature, and I've looked at the cities, and I've come across Kigali. And Kigali is such a fast developing city, and it really inspired me. And of course, the history of the country is also something which was really like how the people cope with it and how the country developed so fast afterwards. And it was so interesting for me. And I thought, okay, why not? It's beautiful. It's a beautiful country. It's super interesting. Let's do it.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for choosing us.
Thank you for having me.
You guys, when I was having a conversation in the back doors with Lily, she mentioned about the rain thing. Like in Germany, maybe Lily would want to share, tell us what's the difference, what's the culture shock in Rwanda when it comes to rain?
Well, when it rains here, everything just stops. It doesn't matter where you are. You stay there until it stops raining. And in Germany, it's like the opposite because it rains often, especially in the autumn or in winter. And you have your rain jacket, you have your waterproof boots and all that. And you have to be when you want to go to school and it rains, you have to come to school. And it doesn't matter how hard it's pouring. And here, nah, that's okay. You just come later, it's okay.
Or tomorrow.
Yeah, in Germany there's the saying, there's not bad weather, there's just bad clothing. So you need to dress according to the weather. It's so different here, and I love it.
That was more like the culture shock. Marumbo, do you have any cultural aspect of Rwanda that has caught your eye?
Well, I think we're more alike than we are different. So there wasn't a lot of culture shock. I'm trying to think, because I've been here 3 years, so I'll probably acclimatized to how things happen.
Yeah.
I think one of the most, not the most interesting, but one of the things that took me time to get adjusted to was it takes some time for people to warm up to you. And I'm very loud, very extroverted. I like to go out and meet people. It also didn't help that I came when COVID was happening. And so one of the things that I had to learn was, okay, you sort of have to earn people's trust. And then once you start to learn the history and everything that's happened in the country, you start to understand why that takes a bit of time. So I'd say maybe that was the biggest thing I had to learn to navigate.
Yeah.
Another one is probably learning that Rwandan women are not expressive. I'm used to women that talk back. I like banter. And here, sometimes people are quite reserved, they're conservative on the surface. And so people won't talk back as much. And then sometimes you're guessing okay, what are we doing? What's happening? And then
But at least you got the side kisses. So let me tell you guys a story. When I came from Uganda, right? That's back in 2016.
Yeah.
I come back to Rwanda. I'm from Uganda, right? Uganda has more of a huggy greeting, right?
Yeah.
So when I come back here, I go at school, right? And so this guy is the class representative, and so they ask him to welcome me in class, right? Yeah. So the guy comes to give me a peck. I'm like, what are you doing? What the hell are you doing? But then actually in Rwanda, so the pecks, right?
Yeah.
It's okay for a boy to give me a peck on the cheek. In Uganda, that's an abomination. What are you doing? You're pecking me in front of everyone? So, Marambo, did you get that experience? Like, were you getting like those side kisses from the cheek?
Not really.
God,
I can't speak too strongly on getting side kisses here in Rwanda. No, I just thought it was just a cultural thing. It's like very much like European, Belgian, French influence. So yeah, in the beginning it was a bit like, what are we doing? And then over time, like you kind of get used to it. Yeah.
You didn't give me a side kiss when you came in.
I'm trying to keep very professional boundaries between us. So yeah, maybe the next time. I'm still learning. Like, because also that confused me. I don't know if it's 2, if it's 1, is it 3? Like, what's the standard? Like other people do 2, like so you go one side. Other people want to do like 3. Other people just do one side. So
I do.
I have to learn.
Like, let me see. I do one when I hug you, and after the hug I do the other one.
Yeah.
I think I do too.
You do too.
Yeah.
So there's no like standard protocol.
No. What is the greeting way? So here in Rwanda, mostly culturally, when you're greeting an elder person, you hold your hand and like greet with like one hand you're giving and then you're holding here. The culture way. It actually has been changing a bit these days, but I remember my father talking to me very hard on that. Like when you're greeting an elderly person, you have to like bring out your arm and hold. So how is it like in Botswana, and what's the other route?
Zimbabwe.
She has 2 routes, yo.
It's quite similar actually. Like you have to give your right hand to their left hand. To their right hand? Okay. To their right hand. And yeah, the whole like holding your arm and then kind of giving a little, bow or something. A kneel. Yeah, you don't like kneel all the way to the ground, but then you just have to like,
Well, you guys kneel?
No, not like all the way to the ground, but then like, say if I'm gonna do this to you, like I have to kind of go like this. Just a little bit, just a sign of respect. And yeah, you do find some of those oldies who are so insistent on that because yes,
oldies.
I promise, because like for us, I know I respect you, and you'll see that I respect you in different ways, not just the way that I shake your hand, right? So I feel like for us, the way we express respect is kind of different from how the old timers do.
Yes.
So for
the
them,
Gen Z, we are the Gen Z.
So it took me a while to learn that. But once I did, I feel like now it just goes beyond whether you're older than me. If I just respect you, I feel like there's an air around you and our like chemistry, then I kind of express that too, right? Yeah. And there's also a thing about when you're speaking to elders, how you have to refer to them in the plural sense.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like you don't say, okay, so wena is you, right? And you're speaking to one person. And when you're speaking to an older person, you have to say lina, which is the plural of you. You know how in English, like you is like for one person and also plural?
Yeah.
So when you're speaking to an older person, you have to refer to them as, more than just one. And they find it so disrespectful if you like say wena to them, right? So yeah, those are some of the things around how you like interact with older people.
That kind of reminds me a bit here in Rwanda. So I can tell you Vite. Like, you're my age bracket, I can tell you Vite. But then here in Rwanda, you have to say like, you cannot tell an elderly person Vite. They'll be like, Vite sha, like, what are you saying? Like, so like, it's basically like muraho. And muraho is like plural of many people because it like, whether there are many, it's muraho. Whether it's one person, is muraho. You cannot say Vite.
Yeah.
Abomination.
Exactly.
So maybe I think it's kind of different in the Western world. I have a German friend, and she told me that they talk to elders by their names. Yeah, it's a culture. It's like a culture.
Even I'm saying it and it's like
yeah, even I like, so like, for example, if I came to visit you and I'm talking to your mother, I'll be like Mama Lily, right here. Like hello Mama Lily, right? So I heard for her she was like, if your mama's name is maybe Faith, she would be like, hello Faith. How do you tell us, like, teach us
It depends how close you are with the elder person. So generally, we also have the same thing with the singular you and the plural you. In German, it's called sitzen, and that's when you like pay your respect to someone when you use the plural form. And you give like just the hand. We don't have this thing, or just the hand. No bow or something, just like the hand. But you refer to them to their last name. So you say Mr. or Mrs. and you say the last name. And when a person offers you their first name, you can use it. But if the person doesn't and the person is way older, you don't use it.
You don't use it. Okay, so it's quite similar. It's quite similar. Marumbo, do you have a favorite food in Rwanda? And what's that and why is that?
That's a political question. I don't respond to political questions.
Do you have a favorite food?
I also promised myself this year that I would be honest. I don't have a favorite food in Rwanda.
Okay.
I have to be very honest. I don't have a favorite food in Rwanda. I have spots I like to go to, but they're like all like Indo-Asian or Asian cuisine. So
Asian cuisine?
Yeah, that's my binge right
That's
now.
like really fancy.
No. It's noodles. My go-to food is noodles.
Noodles?
Yeah, beef noodles.
Okay.
Make it spicy.
Do you know what like guys your age say about noodles here in Rwanda?
You don't know my age. What do they say?
I can imagine. They say that noodles is for babies.
It depends how it's made. I'm also not talking about 2-minute noodles. That was me when I was like when I was still in uni. 2-minute noodles. That's every Thursday. 2-minute noodles. That's dinner.
Yeah.
Good to go. But yeah, no, like there's some really good noodles out there.
So
you can have.
Rwandans, your dishes suck.
Hey, that's not what I said. Hey, let the record show. I'm trying to stay in the country. I like my visa. I like staying here. That is all, Esther. I didn't say that.
Okay.
Thanks.
Bella, do you have any food, Rwandan food?
I really like isombe and dodo.
Hey.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I like isombe too.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah. What do you like having it with?
With like fufu. I don't know what you guys call it.
Kaunga?
Kaunga, yeah. With kaunga.
Yeah.
Yes.
Plantain. Plantain beef stew. Yeah.
Do you guys have sombe in Botswana?
A version of it. Yeah.
A version of it?
A version of it. It's not
version?
Yeah, it's not cooked.
Do you guys hear what I heard?
Version.
Okay, a version of it.
Yeah, it's
What's
not cooked
that?
the same way.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's still really good.
Yeah. So like the sombe was more like a different type of stew, sombe stew.
Kind of cooked differently.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that.
Nice. Lily. Do you have like a favorite Rwandan food?
Yes, sambusas and chapati are like, I could leave it every time.
You eat them every time?
Yeah, I could. I don't do it, but I could.
Oh, okay.
I love it. It's like I never have seen sambusas or chapati in Germany. I mean, we probably have it somewhere, but it's not that popular. And I've tried it here for the first time. So tasty.
Yeah?
Yes, or when you go to Makoko, our favorite place.
You got tell me you know Makoko.
No, I haven't been.
Tell them where Makoko is and where they can find Makoko.
Makoko is like in the car-free zone in Nyamirambo.
I think I do. Yeah, I think I do.
Okay.
I just, yeah.
So
I don't
like
frequent.
when you mentioned Makoko, like do you guys have the pilau? The type of rice with
Yes.
spices? You have it in Germany?
I think you can buy it somewhere, of course, and I think there are some restaurants there are many restaurants that like sell it. But I've never been, like in Germany, I've never been like a restaurant type of girl, you know? I've never went out to restaurants that many, and I didn't try fancy restaurants because I'm a little picky eater, so. Before that, I haven't eaten that much pilau, but here, so tasty.
Yeah.
I like it.
That's nice. So I'm gonna ask each of you a question, right? We'll start from the artist. You guys, have you seen her outfit? Like,
It's giving.
have you seen? You haven't seen. Anyway, so like, I want to ask if you had someone coming to Rwanda, like, what is this one thing you'd tell them to be prepared for?
Similar to what he said, like the conservativeness, if that's a word, especially when it comes to dressing and just like the way you like relate with people. But I kind of want to talk about the dressing part, you know.
Go ahead, girl. Go ahead.
I think one thing that kind of shocked me, or I wasn't really like prepared for, was just the way people look at something or like stare at you when you're dressed a certain way, because I feel like it's hard to tell what they're thinking, right? And it's now, I'm probably walking down the street, you know, I took my time, you know what I'm saying? And I'm now trying to figure out, do they like it? Do they not like it? Are they judging me? When are they gonna look away? Because like there's a lot. So I feel like for the first couple of months, I was kind of like taken aback by the staring. So back home, staring is actually really rude. Like if you stare at someone for too long, you might just get your ass whooped for real. Like, why are you looking at me? Why are you looking at me type thing, right? Yeah. So when I first got here, I was like, okay, why are some people like staring at me? And then I decided to stare back. I'll stare back.
To do things.
That's when the problem started, because I'll stare back. Now I'm looking into their eyes. I'm looking to their soul. Yeah. It's now a staring competition. Yeah. And I'm like, so sometimes you see it's a kid, or you just have this innocence in their eyes, you know, like, okay, they're staring, they're maybe curious and everything. Then there's other times, maybe like an older woman, and just you're like, ma'am, what did I do to you? Yeah. And then there's men, older men staring at you. Then I'm like, sir, first of all, I'm not your age. Like, stop looking at me. You know what I'm saying? This, you know, sometimes people don't realize it. Staring in some forms is also a form of sexual harassment too. Yes. Because if a man is looking at you and they're staring at you, maybe like looking at different parts of your body, that's unacceptable. So for me, that was something that I didn't realize. But then with time, like you're saying, the more you get to know people, and people have different motives, right? I feel like the most innocent one is like someone's just curious. This is something that they probably haven't seen before. Maybe it's an outfit, you know, the way you're dressed. Yeah. On the dressing part, I feel like, you know, the world is changing and people use clothes and fashion as a way to express themselves, even sometimes to make statements. And I feel like when people are judged for the way they dress, it's like you're not giving the person a chance to be who they are or say what they want to say. Exactly. You're limiting clothes to just like, sexual objectification, when clothes go beyond that. You know, sometimes it's comfort. Sometimes someone is in the era of really exploring with clothes, exploring with their body and doing things like that. So I think the moment where there was this girl, you know, at BK Arena who... Oh, yes. That for me, I was expecting more support, you know, from young people, from women, you know, because at the end of the day, no one wants to be just like taking a picture of and then the picture goes in a direction they were not planning. You know, I'm just wearing my outfit like... Unless it's a meme and we all agree it's funny, sure. But then if it's like, funny. No, it wasn't funny. It was actually, people were shaming her. She wasn't ashamed. People were shaming her. And I felt like, I thought, you see, when the country's developing, you'd expect like other things to develop as well, the narratives towards women's bodies. So, yeah.
When it comes to the dressing code in Rwanda, it's very controversial. Actually, I'm really like thinking of how you came up with that, because I wrote an article yesterday about the controversies when it comes to dressing. I think they're gonna publish it the next day. They're still reading to see if
they want to remove certain things.
I didn't say that. but like I really understand that point. And so like basically I feel like, yes, we are developing, but then we need to let a woman, mostly these young girls, explore themselves, because you are an old woman. I'm sorry to say, you had your time, you had your era. Let someone else have their own era. Maybe let's not focus much on that.
But, you know, just to respond, I feel like it's a double-edged sword, because even you as maybe an older woman or any kind of woman that you are, you'll get to a point where you want to express yourself in a certain way, but you're being robbed of the chance to do that because you're also adding to the pressure. You don't realize that you're also limiting yourself, you know? So I think safe spaces, and then also like safety for women to feel like they can dress how they want and not have the fear of being like abused, harassed, touched. If it was your daughter, even if you told her, don't go dressed that way, you wouldn't be happy with what someone else would do to her.
Exactly.
So it's not just about how she's presenting herself, it's about the world, how they respond and how they receive that. It kind of borders on some sort of violence or, attacks. If she came home and crying, telling you that I was harassed and everything, would you empathize with her or would you say it's your fault?
Now that Della, thank you, Della. Now that Della has brought that thing, how is it in your root?
Malawi.
Like, how is it in Malawi when a woman is wearing revealing clothes?
Interesting. Let me start with Rwanda first.
Okay.
And to her point as well about people staring. Rwanda's pastime is staring. And so I realized that, like she said, like over time you start to give people, because like she said, our cultures are quite similar. So in Malawi as well, staring is actually considered very rude. Whilst here, it's sort of normal for people to stare. And like back home, the intentions are not always clear. And for me here, over time, the inclination has been to give people a pass and be like, maybe they're just curious and interested when they stare. And so I've also found that because Rwanda and Kigali is quite safe, women actually dress slightly more freer here than in Malawi. And obviously that still needs to evolve. There's still like lines and like still a gray area on the spectrum of like what that actually looks like. But back home, like they're what we call vendors or like street hawkers that like sell on the side of the road, and it doesn't matter. Like even if you're just a woman walking by them, they'll like jeer at you, they'll like whistle, they'll like try to touch you. And so on one end, there's still things that need to improve here, but on the other end, it's like here, like the odds of a woman being touched because she's wearing a short dress are significantly lower.
It's happened to me.
I didn't say it was. I didn't say it was completely off the books, but I said significantly much lower.
From your perspective as a man.
From my perspective as a man and what I've seen in other countries.
I feel like I should invite you both to talk about the dressing.
But back home it's significantly worse. So I'm not saying that it's completely off the books, and I'm not saying that it's perfect here, but it's definitely significantly lower. Back home it's much worse, and so these are the things that I think should be in public discussion so that people start to think about them and start to change their behavior around it. Because part of it is also like just because somebody's dressed a certain way doesn't give you a right to touch them.
True. Period. Very
and so that discussion is really important and like should be in public. Because like people's like, oh no, why was she dressed like that? But it's like, well, why are we touching her?
Yeah.
And so if I were to compare from a man's perspective and with the context of my country and where I'm coming from, in that regard, women are slightly freer here. Now, again, I'm not saying that it's perfect. I'm also not saying that we've reached the level that it needs to get to. But if I'm comparing just the two objectively, it's much worse back home.
Thank you guys for all sharing. I'm going to ask like each question, and then like you guys could answer like in a few seconds so we can wrap it up.
Thank you so much.
You guys in Germany. I have many friends who are from Germany.
It's giving
So I'm like, you see how when you're going to wear you see how here in Rwanda when you are wearing a clean like new shoe, like New Balance, whatever, like it's swag, right? Like all the girls be like, your shoe is cool, them. Please just say it for yourself. I don't want to lie on the camera.
Well, in Germany, like the cleanliness, I don't know if you can say that, of shoes is not that important. So if you go to school and it's raining and the park is muddy, you have dirty shoes. No one cares. Everybody has dirty shoes. That's okay. And there was a time where like skater boys were very cool and in, and when to the skater boy vibe, they're like those red shoes. When you skate, the shoes are getting kind of red, kind of dirty. That's cool. When you have new shoes, like really, like for example, they're white and they're like so shiny white and like just out of the store. It's like I need to get them a little bit more dirty because they're so shiny white. I don't like that.
I had a friend, I'm not saying his name. His shoe had holes everywhere, right? It had holes everywhere, and it was meant to be white, but it was almost like a sweater. Like it was gray, right? And dark gray. And so like I would be like, why don't you? He's like, no, I have to wear this shoe until it's worn out. Like it's the more dirtier your shoe is, the more cool you are. I was like, wait a minute, the culture is different. The culture is different. So is there something weird that you guys also find nice, but then here in Rwanda would find it weird in Botswana?
I'm gonna have to think about that.
Sure, let's jump to the root.
I think the rain thing, we don't have that back home as well. Like here, when it rains, like people actually comfortably like shut down, but back home you have to, no one cares. You have to make it to your spot.
You have to stand up and go.
You have to make it to your spot because it rains a lot as well, and like you just know it's gonna rain today. You have to make it there. So that's
that kind of makes sense, because I saw you sometime and you came in the rain, and then I was trying to clean the water. You're like, it's just rain. I'm like, excuse you.
110%.
It's just rain.
Yeah.
Something I want to talk about is two things, but then the most important thing, I feel like I'd love to see more spaces for young people to just hang out, because I've noticed that you rarely get to see young people on the streets like that. You know, like teenagers and, you know, young adults. You only get to see teenagers and young adults probably in like the club, concerts, and really big, even the concerts, it has to be Davido coming or it has to be Rema coming for you to see all these young people in one spot. Back home, we've got like places like H&S. It's like a mall where from Monday to Friday, kids are just there. BC, Monday to Friday, kids are just there after school, you know, in uniform. You just go there, hang out, and you meet people from different schools and different. Of course, they become a little bit mischievous and stuff like that. But I feel like at the end of the day, you get to know each other. For me here, it's like the only people who I guess have become friends are people who I see on a regular basis, either at work or school. But then I love the feeling of meeting someone on the streets, on the road, like somewhere just a chill spot. You know, those spaces where it's like, okay, spaces for kids to just come hang out. I like what they have at Mundi Center, the Funky Monkey Arcade.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, spaces like that are cool. And then like, I'd love to see more of those things here, so we can just hang out, chop it up, kick it, you know.
That should be a business idea for someone sitting there with money in his bank.
Exactly.
Very nice. Is there something else apart from the shoes?
Probably, but I wasn't like, I thought you were asking these two, so I'm a little bit caught off guard. Wait. But I probably would just agree with the teenagers hanging around, because like in Germany, after school, okay, you go home to eat lunch or you eat it at school, but then like you often meet up with friends, especially in the park. Like there are many parks, and you just hang out there.
Parks here are empty.
No, because I feel like you're not allowed to sit on the, that's also another thing.
There for visuals, but
Yes, it's just aesthetics. It's aesthetics.
Well, some of them are like it's prohibited.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like even streets, walking, eating on the streets, is something I miss from back home. Like,
Guys, that is something you cannot do. Okay, like there's nobody saying don't do that.
But you just know.
You just know.
imagine I got the brochette from the grill, I don't want to eat it at home. I want to eat it there when
it's still hot. So like basically, I think it started with the whole cleanliness, because like Rwanda is trying to make the place clean. So with people eating on the street, they would like litter things like a banana leaf or whatever. So I feel like it started out like that. You guys, when I was still in Uganda, I heard that if you spit on the grounds of Uganda, you'll be put in prison.
Oh, really?
But is that true?
like spitting actually in public in Rwanda is more like a rude thing.
Yeah.
No, but people spit in public a lot here.
They do?
Yes, I'm telling you. Yes, you're just walking, the motor drivers, people just walking down the street, they'll just like...
In this change.
Actually, in Nyamirambo, that's such a common occurrence. Because I lived there and I was like, why?
You live in Nyamirambo?
Of course, I live
You're
in the
my
end.
neighbor, bro. We should hang out. Anywho, guys, I feel so sad that we have to end this talk, and I look forward to maybe more and more when we are freer, maybe in a weekend or something, so we can have a longer time to discuss about all these things, because I really think everything you guys pointed out is really, really important and needs to be checked out. And the culture is not very, very much different. So it was great to have you. Just say one word to say goodbye to the beautiful people of Rwanda.
All right. Yeah, thank you for having us, Esther. Really appreciate being here, and hope to see you guys out there in the parks, huh?
Thank you so much for the platform. Thank you, Rwanda, for embracing me. And whenever you come to Zimbabwe, Botswana, I got you.
We got you.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a great time talking with you guys. It was interesting to see your point of view. It was really nice. Thank you.
It was nice having you. Tell them to subscribe on Scoop on Scoop. Follow, learn. I'll be bringing more beautiful minds like this. Ciao, ciao.